Thank you, Madam Chairman. I am calling the Committee on Academics and Innovation to order. I declare there is a quorum of committee members present and know that the media has been given proper notice pursuant to the Freedom of Information Act. The first agenda item is the Head Start Budget Expenditures Report for April 2019. Do I hear a motion?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve the updated Head Start Budget Expenditure Report for April 2019.
Second.
Second. Is there any discussion? At this time, I would like to take a vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The motion carries. At this time, I will entertain a motion to adjourn this committee meeting so that the regular board can begin.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion. I have a second. We are now adjourned.
You got to call the question. You got to call the question.
I'm sorry. I'll call the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting is now adjourned. I think that's the second time I did that. Did it one time last time.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the regular meeting of the Berkeley County Board of Education this Tuesday, June 25th, 2019. I call this meeting to order. I declare a quorum is present and the media has been notified. I will now entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. McQuillan, a second by Mr. Ramsay to approve the agenda. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. We'll now entertain a motion to approve the minutes for the regular board meeting on June 11th, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion by Ms. Littleton, a second by Mr. McQuillan to approve the minutes for June 11th, 2019. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. We'll now entertain a motion to adjourn into executive session.
I made the motion.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. Ramsay, a second by Ms. Condor. Ms. Littleton. I'd like to state the purpose of executive session is to discuss pending employment matters to include the appointment of an administrator, to hear 6 student attendance appeals. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. We are now in executive session. Now entertain a motion to return to regular session.
So moved, Madam Chair. Second.
There's a motion from Mr. Wright, a second from Mr. Barrow to return to regular session. I'd like to state for the record that no action was taken in executive session. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Please now stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'd now like to invite Ms. Katie Orvin Tanner up to the podium for Legacy Builders special recognition.
Good evening, Chair Wofford, Dr. Ingram, members of the board, and all of you who have joined us tonight. Each month, I have the opportunity to introduce you to our Legacy Builders, which is a very exciting part of our meetings. So first, we're going to introduce you to our Berkeley Education Advisory Team. if they want to start coming up. They are known as BEAT, and they are the youth subcommittee to the Berkeley County Prevention Board, whose mission is to support the board's efforts to decrease and or eradicate alcohol, tobacco, and other drug use among youth in Berkeley County. BEAT members participate in master's level trainings to facilitate the implementation of environmental strategies, educational presentations, and building of positive peer-to-peer relationships to address substance use among youth. Through traditional media, social media, speaking directly with our legislators and their staff about the need for their continued support of the Drug-Free Communities Project, BEAT has helped Berkeley County achieve considerable progress as it relates to youth substance abuse. Thank you for supporting these youth and all of their efforts to make Berkeley County a safe and drug-free place to live. And I will introduce all of them. We have two of them with us tonight. The others couldn't join us, but I think it's important that you know who all of the members of the team are. We have Nakaya Fulmer. She is from Berkeley High School. Gugawa Nwazigwe is from Cane Bay High School. Gabriel Arizoko is from Stratford High School. Charmaine Swinton is from Berkeley High School. And Kennedy Wigfall is from Berkeley High School.
First off, I would like to say thank you for that very, very warm welcome. And I would also like to say thank you to Berkeley County and everyone here for your help, because without you guys, we would not be able to fight the monster and disease that is drug addiction. I'm going to be very short before I pass it off to my co-leader over here, Kennedy. But before, when we spoke at a retreat the other day, I spoke about let there be light. And when I say let there be light, yes, it's a Bible passage, but I mean let there be light in all the lives of the teenagers that we were able to save as we take drug addiction away from Berkeley County. Let there be light as we continue to work towards a safer community for our kids to live in. I don't have children. For our kids to for our kids to live in, because each day and each step and each meeting that we have, we are closer and closer to just making a better community. And yes, there will be light, because we all together with all our efforts will make it. Thank you.
In my 4 years of being in the BEAT team, it was a great experience for me. The best experience was receiving numerous awards and acceptance letters from various colleges and scholarships saying that they were impressed with my work in the community and with my school. So without BEAT, that was impossible for me. So thank you.
And we also have some members from the Kennedy Center here with us. So this is also a relationship with the Kennedy Center we have. So if y'all will join us for some pictures too. Yep, come on.
Yeah, we're taking pictures. We're going to get everybody from the Kennedy Center.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks for coming out.
He's going to tell us where to go.
A couple steps that way. This way? Yep. We good? Three, two, one. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Oh, you want to? We can give it to
Thank you. Katie, can I say something real quick?
Yes, ma'am.
This is something that is near and dear to my heart, and your work is just, it's very heartwarming to me. And thank y'all so much for what you do, because I'm a mental health counselor too, and I really do appreciate everything that you guys are doing. Thank you.
I wanted to say something too to these young ladies. Thank you so much, because I do have children in the school district, and I really appreciate everything y'all are doing. So thank you for taking the time out to do that.
Okay, and along those same lines with our prevention board, we are excited to announce that Miss Elaine Swain, who is our coordinator for at-risk programs, received the Berkeley County Prevention Board's 2018-2019 Volunteer of the Year Award for her contributions to the field of prevention and the promotion of a safe and healthy drug-free Berkeley County. Come on, Miss Elaine. And this is only one area that Ms. Swain is making a difference. Those of you who are familiar with her work, she works in our schools with at-risk, our homeless population. I've met her through child advocacy with our foster care children and our emergency shelters. She really touches our youth, our at-risk families in general. If you need help, she's the person I send you to. So we are very, very proud of you and the work that you do.
Speech.
You want to get in the photo?
Yeah.
I was like, no, he's shy, Jeff.
Oh, come on. All right. 3, 2, 1.
All right. Well, thank y'all all again. Congratulations. Thank you for the work you're doing in our community to change our community. And that concludes Legacy Builders for this month. Thank you.
Thank you to everyone who came for Legacy Builders, for our students who are working for a drug-free county and state and United States. It's very important, and we appreciate it. Thank you to the Kennedy Center for not only working with our students, but also working with any employee that we have who faces alcohol or drug addiction. It's something that destroys lives of all kinds. It doesn't matter the socioeconomic background. Many lives are destroyed. So thank you for the work that you're doing. And also for Ms. Elaine Swain, thank you as well. Very close to our heart with foster care and emergency shelters. Thank you very much. If you came just to be recognized, you don't have to sit through our whole awesome meeting. I was going to call it boring, but we'll call it awesome. Now is an excellent time to get to go home or have dinner or do something more fun than board meetings. Thank you. Next up, we will have citizen comments. We have 3 citizens registered. In order to conduct the meeting in an orderly and efficient manner, we ask that you honor the following guidelines. Stakeholder comments are welcomed and encouraged. However, the board will not take immediate action on public comments at this meeting. Any person wishing to address the board must register prior to the meeting. Comments must be regarding programs, policies, or procedures. Comments regarding complaints against employees other than district-level executives or references to students other than the child of the speaker will not be heard in public session. Groups addressing the same topic should select one speaker. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes per speaker. The board chair reserves the right to allot additional time or halt public comments that do not adhere to the guidelines. First registered speaker is Tom Fernandez on the topic of transparency.
Good evening, Board. Tom Fernandez. Address is 477 Whispering Breeze Lane, Somerville, South Carolina, in the great community of Cane Bay. Talking tonight about transparency. More appropriately, I want to demonstrate transparency. I believe I have 3 minutes, and I'm sure the timer's already been going. Board members, that is what a response sounds like when transparency requests are submitted to you. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to invite Stephen Wright. The need for a conflict of interest policy.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Wright.
Good evening, Madam Chairwoman and members of the board. I do appreciate this opportunity to address each of you this evening. I come to you before in reference to the recent questions that have been raised with regard to the hiring of the Smith-Whitley law firm. First, I want to make it clear that the citizens appreciate the work this firm has done following the embezzlement scandal that has rocked this school district. Their efforts to work with law enforcement prosecutors to recoup the funds embezzled have been a task of which required a great deal of focus, experience, and professionalism. Second, there has been legitimate questions raised recently about the cost and fees the school board has been charged by this firm. I request your flexibility in this effort to find the facts so that folks may find the facts and the documents requested be presented to them. I ask each of you, do you think $46,000 for this information is reasonable? Thirdly, and most importantly, I believe this board should immediately adopt a conflict of interest policy. There have been questions raised about the influence of local elected officials and the hiring of this firm. I believe that by implementing a transparent, accountable, and thorough conflict of interest policy, it will not only protect the district, it will protect its employees, elected officials, and those that do business with this district from the appearance of conflict. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to invite Sandra Bainey. Did I say that wrong? Bainey, for the new budget items.
Thank you. I appreciate this opportunity to speak. I'd first like to start out with letting you know that my daughter, who is a special education teacher, wants to thank you for your consideration for improving special education in Berkeley County, specifically the resource allocations being lowered from 33 to 20, and also the 39 special education instructional assistants. She has left Berkeley County after 1 year because of the support wasn't there for her. And she's grateful to see that those teachers that are remaining here in this district will have that support if you approve those allocations. And so it's a good start, and I hope that you'll continue to improve special education. I myself am a regular education teacher in Berkeley County, but I really have noticed the struggles that special education teachers have had since my daughter was teaching in the district. I also want to just say I noticed that when you addressed attendance lines this past year, that it was specifically for Cane Bay High School. And I'm sure you all know the overcrowding in the other Cane Bay schools. And I would hope that, hopefully soon, that you will address those overcrowding issues also. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll next move on to Agenda Item 6A, action as required from executive session.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to accept the recommendation of the administration to name Ms. LaToya King as the new principal at Philip Simmons Elementary School with a contract to take effect on July 1st, 2019.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. McQuillan, a second by Mr. Wright, to accept the recommendation of the administration to name Ms. LaToya King as the new principal of Philip Simmons Elementary School with a contract to take effect on July 1st, 2019. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Ms. King? We would like to also acknowledge any family and friends that came with you to celebrate your good news, because I heard there were a couple of people with you.
There are. I have my entire family
Stand on up. We're actually going to come all the way up to the front and get a photo op.
Yes. Come on.
No, all.
He had to change the lens, I just saw.
When you're a principal or a teacher or a social worker, you don't do it by yourself. You have a whole family standing behind you to give what you give to our school district. So we want to honor all of that.
It doesn't matter, guys.
Yeah, one more, 3 more, 2 more.
Yes.
Get in the picture. All the Philip Simmons. Yeah.
All right, Philip Simmons, folks, you got to go up there.
Everybody stay.
Everybody stay.
Moving you back.
I think this is her village.
Behind Mr. Prince.
Yeah, it is an amazing community. Thank you.
Yay.
We'll now move to the second item from executive session.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to accept the recommendation of the administration to name Mr. Keith Terry as the new Director of Transportation with contract to take effect on July 15, 2019.
Second.
I've got a motion from Mr. Barrow. I have a unison, so who's deferring?
I'll let him.
I was going to say, and a second by
I'll
Mr.
defer.
Wright. To accept the recommendation of the administration to name Mr. Keith Terry as the new Director of Transportation with a contract to take effect on July 15th, 2019. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Mr. Terry. You know you're not going to get off that easy. I tried to warn you. There's a photo op. So tell us who you brought with you, and you have your family with you. Well, come on, family. Welcome to Berkeley County.
He's
Thank
coming
you.
to us from Richland 1, right?
Yeah,
Richland
thank
1,
you
Columbia.
for relocating to Berkeley County. We are excited for you to join us.
Oh, how cute.
And I think we just grew by 2 more students.
Miles, how's a meat cheeseburger?
Welcome to Berkeley County. Congratulations. We'll now move on to student attendance appeals. I'll hear student number 1.
Madam Chair, in the matter of student number 1, I move that we deny the appeal.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. McQuillan, a second by Mr. Ramsay to deny the appeal of student number 1. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
Nay.
The ayes have it. Student number 2.
Madam Chair, in the matter of student number 2, I move that we deny the appeal.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. McQuillan, a second by Mr. Barrow to deny the appeal of student number 2. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Student number 3.
Madam Chair, in the matter of student number 3, I move that we deny the appeal.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. McQuillan, a second by Mr. Barrow to deny the appeal of student number 2. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Student number 4.
Madam Chair, in the matter of student number 4, I move that we grant the appeal.
Second. There's a motion by McQuillan, a second by Wofford to grant the appeal of student number 4. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay.
Nay.
The ayes have it. Student number 5.
Madam Chair, in the matter of student number 5, I move that we deny the appeal.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. McQuillan, a second by Mr. Barrow to deny the appeal of student number 2. Is there any additional discussion?
Student number 5.
I'm sorry, I said the wrong number. This is student number 5. The motion is to deny. The motion was by McQuillan, the second was by Barrow. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Nay. The ayes have it. Student number 6.
Madam Chair, I make a motion we deny the request.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. Barrow, a second by Mr. Wright to deny the appeal of student number 6. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. We'll now move on to agenda item 6A, action from committees. The next items on the agenda are reports from our standing committees. First, a report from Committee on Academics and Innovation, Chairwoman Ann Conder.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chairman. The Committee on Academics and Innovation met on June the 11th, 2019, and earlier this evening. On recommendation of the committee, I move to approve the Head Start Budget Expenditures Report for April 2019, Head Start Credit Card Report for April 2019, and the 2019-2020 Head Start Transportation Waiver.
We have a recommendation from committee. No second is required. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Also, on recommendation of the committee, I move to approve the 2019-2020 honors rubric courses as presented.
We have a recommendation from committee. No second is required. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Madam Chairman, that concludes my report.
Next is the Committee on Finance and Human Resources, Chairman Michael Ramsay.
Madam Chairwoman, the Committee on Finance and Human Resources met on June the 11th and June the 18th, 2019. On recommendation of the committee, I move to approve second and final reading to adopt Policy DIDA, Internal Audit, Rule DIDA-R, Internal Audit, and Exhibit IFCB-E, Number 2, Overnight Out-of-State Field Study as presented.
We have a recommendation from committee. No second is required. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Also, on recommendation of the committee, I move to approve second and final reading to revise Rule IFCB-R, Field Study, Exhibit IFCB-E, Request for Field Study, Policy JCDAAA, and Rule JDAAA-R, Harassment, Intimidation, or Bullying, Rule JDD-R, Student Suspension, Rule JDE-R, Student Expulsions, Rule JICDA-R, Student Behavior Code, and Rule IDA-R, grading assessment as presented.
We have a recommendation from committee. No second is required. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Also, on recommendation of the committee, I move to approve the 2019-2020 staff allocation formulas as presented.
We have a recommendation from committee. No second is required. Is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Also, on recommendation of the committee, I move to approve revisions to the 2019-2020 salary book as presented.
We have a recommendation from committee. No second is required. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. 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 Opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Also, on recommendation of the committee, I move to approve the out-of-state travel request as presented.
Recommendation from committee. No second is required. Is there any further discussion?
Yes, ma'am. I think we've talked about this a couple of times. I would really like to know the number of students that are traveling. Some of them are indicated, most of them are not. I see we're one person or six people, but I'm sure there are students and staff. I'd like to know the breakdown of the number of teachers, the number of chaperones, and the number of students. I have no problem approving the out-of-state travel and the cost, but I'd like to know, we do have the schools, we do have the numbers, and we do have the cost and the place they're going and why they're going, but I'd like to know the number of students.
I agree. That's completely reasonable. I think we talked about possibly making this a Google form that we were working on.
That's only one. There are several in it, really.
It's just staff. So if it just says a number, it's just staff.
I don't think that's accurate because I spoke with a principal with a particular circumstance the other day, and there was one person, and in fact there were three going. Two were students, and one wasn't. It was actually to the world champion bass fishing in Tennessee. If you all looked at it, if you remember that, there was one person, and it was going to Paris, Tennessee. But it said to the national championship. I didn't know what it was for. It was the fishing championship, but it was two students and an adult. So I'm not taking exception with what Ms. Smith said. I just would like to know the number of students and the number of chaperones.
Okay.
I think that's
I don't think that's unreasonable.
Yeah,
sir, it's not.
Yeah, I remember we talked about it before.
Is there any further discussion? So we're calling the question on the motion to approve out-of-state travel request. There's no additional discussion. We'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Also, on recommendation of committee, I move to approve the funding flexibility as presented.
We have a recommendation from committee. No second is required. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Also, on recommendation of the committee, I move to approve second reading of the general fund budget as presented.
We have a recommendation from committee. No second is required. Any further discussion? For those of you who weren't here at 5 o'clock, we did have an in-depth conversation about our final reading of our budget. Just to hit some highlights, we are planning a 6%, or this reading includes a 6% pay raise for all employees. It includes reducing special resource teachers from a 33-to-1 to a 20-to-1, second grade down from 27 down to 21-to-1, 8 mental health counselors, 2 social workers. I feel like I could take a test on this and pass. We have studied a lot to try to hear our teachers, to try to hear our communities and our parents, to reduce class size, to put the money to teachers, to put the money to reducing class sizes, to give more one-on-one attention to children, is where we have spent every single extra dollar. And we will also, it's a reassessment year, so the millage will be rolled back. And the millage rollback is estimated at this point in time by the county to be 151.8. And that rollback is required by law. So we will be taking that rollback as required by law. So very proud of this budget. We said that earlier for people who were here earlier. Sorry you get to hear it again. We are very excited about this budget. 39 assistants for our self-contained classes, things that are very important to kids, things that are very important to teachers. So a step in the right direction that we are very excited about. Mr. Barrow pointed out, if you add the 2% retroactive
and the step,
you're getting pretty close to 9% pay increase over the last 12 months, which we are very excited about. There are some other things we want to do, but we are very excited about how this money has been allocated. We are excited about the growth in Berkeley County. There's still more work to do. There's still more schools to build and wings to build and more teachers to hire. All of these job postings will be posted in the morning. We are ready to go, and so we will be posting these jobs in the morning and be ready to roll. So if you have friends who want to come to Berkeley County for a pay raise, we would love to have them. So we are excited. We as a board are committed to our employees, we're committed to our teachers, and we're committed to the kids of Berkeley County. But I also think that this is a very fair budget that shows that we're committed to the taxpayer as well. So we are grateful for the work of staff. We are grateful for the passion of our employees to vocalize what's most important. And we're very proud of, as a board, we've been working since March. We started working in March. We were working before March, but we started having formal public workshops in March. So this has been a long time coming, but we are very excited. Some historic growth in Berkeley County, good work. This is probably the closest that the school district and the county have worked together. Would like to commend Ms. Johnette Connolly and her staff at the county. The reassessment staff at the county is amazing. They have done a lot of legwork to give us accurate numbers to be sure that we can fund that this funding number is accurate and conservative, but we're really proud of this budget. So I feel like I may have stolen everybody's thunder. I don't know, but I'm just very excited. So if anybody else would like to comment, I stole all of Eddie's thunder. If anybody else would like to comment on the budget, please.
I just wanted to say that I think that our elementary and middle school principals are excited, extremely excited about the fact that if their school has 500 students, they're going to get a bookkeeper.
Yes,
every elementary and middle school with 500 or more students are going to full-time separate bookkeeper. That has never happened, and I think it's well overdue. But it's an opportunity for us to show that fiscal affairs does matter. We're doing everything we can at the local level, at the school level, to make sure that transparency is evident. And we're doing the right thing for the kids. And next year, hopefully, if the budget continues the way it is, we'll have a bookkeeper in every school, regardless of size.
Yeah, I'll be on to third grade class size reductions. Actually, my perfect number is 17, and I'm an engineer, not an educator, but everything I've read is 17 is the golden number. If you can get down to 17, that's where you see huge strides and improvement. So we're headed towards 17. We didn't make it there, but I can tell you 33 to 20 on the caseload for resource teachers is a heck of a lot closer to 17 than it's ever been before. So we were giddy earlier, but there weren't quite as many people here, so we could be goofier. So, anybody else?
Yes, I started my career in Berkeley County as a mental health worker working in the school. So I'm very glad that we're able to add more people to our schools to help out the teachers with kids that are struggling. So that's my favorite part of our budget.
I'd like to add, I think that was part of my mission when I ran for office was to help ensure that we could offer the best possible education to our children that we can possibly offer them. Reducing class sizes and putting in more resources has always been near and dear to my heart ever since I came on board, and I'm glad to see that we're moving in that direction. And I'm just excited to see what next year might bring.
And with me, my heart is really focused on all our kids being able to read. And then secondly, all our kids have an opportunity when they get out of high school, whether it's through vocational, whether it's get a job, or whether it's go to college. Those are kind of the two things that's always on my mind daily. Every single day, I'm just thinking, how do we help our little kids, and then how do we help our bigger kids? And words do matter, but we all know that we don't always choose the best words, and sometimes people might misconstrue your words or put them in context or out of context. But one thing that can never be doubted is what actions a person takes. Do you put your money where your mouth is? And that's what makes me the most proudest as far as about this budget, is I feel like we say we love our children. Well, our actions show we love our children. We say we love our teachers. Our actions show we love our teachers. And it's my hope, it's my prayer, and I firmly believe that it's what you're going to see more of from us, because I know the heart of these board members up here. I know the heart of our school district, and I know the heart of our educators. I know the heart of our community. We're Berkeley County, and we're very proud to be Berkeley County. And I know I'm going off on a little tangent, but I'm very, very proud of this board, and I'm very, very proud of this school district. And I thank you so much.
Well said. I think you've said enough for everybody.
I will say let's call the question so we can post these jobs. All those in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. We have a budget. Thank you.
Well, the next one ain't quite as exciting, but
I need
Never
another
is.
speech, Michael.
I don't think I got it. That's all I got. Also, on recommendation of the committee, I move to approve second reading of the 2019-2020 supply and travel allocation formulas as presented.
We have a recommendation from committee. No second is required. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Madam Chairwoman, that concludes my report.
Next is the Committee on Facilities and Capital Planning. Chairman Mac McQuillan.
Madam Chairwoman, the Committee on Facilities and Capital Planning met on June 11, 2019. On recommendation of the committee, I move to approve the second reading of the adjustment to the attendance lines as presented, with changes to take effect for the 2019-2020 school year.
We have a recommendation from committee. No second is required. Is there any further discussion? For those of you who haven't been here before, these are the students that are being affected from the Dorchester-Berkeley County line shift. We'll be working with Dorchester, is it 2? Or DD2. DD2 and 4, because there's some students up the line a little bit. These families will get a choice for the time being, and then we're making attendance lines for the new people who move into this area. So, any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Madam Chairwoman, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. McQuillan. Next on the agenda, I would like to recognize our superintendent, Dr. Ingram.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And yes, you did steal some of my thunder, but dadgummit, I'm going to read it anyway.
Hot dog. It's an exciting day.
Yes, ma'am. Last evening, board members and members of the audience, last evening I attended the county council meeting. I listened intently to citizens' comments regarding a zoning issue, and that issue is really not the school board's issue, but and we don't need to weigh in on that, but it's important to listen to it because I heard things like kids standing in the road waiting for buses and stuff like that. That's important information. So So, Mr. Terry, I guess you got your first assignment. We'll figure that out. So we may need to make some adjustments in bus stops and things like that, because we certainly don't want kids in the road. The lesson for the day that I learned, and I don't go to every county council meeting, but I go to as many as I can. It pays to go to the meetings and to stay informed. And I appreciate the collaborative relationship that we have with the county council and County Supervisor Cribb. I've been in this business 38 years. I've never worked in a district that has had this close of a relationship with county government and school board governance, and I appreciate that. And of course, Councilman Whitley, Josh, thanks for being here tonight. You mentioned me last night for being there, and I want to return the favor. Thank you for what you do. You will notice that 3 of our cabinet members are missing tonight. Dr. Wolf is on a well-deserved vacation. Diane Driggers is at the ISTE conference. I can't remember where she is, but she is at the ISTE conference. It's sort of a required conference, and many of her staff are out there with her. Dr. Levine hopefully will be returning in a few days. She's on medical leave right now. And I'm going to be meeting with 8 different principals the rest of the week concerning various topics regarding their schools. I want to congratulate Ms. LaToya King, the principal of Philip Simmons Elementary School. We expect great things, and it really made me feel good to see so many family members, not just your personal family, but your school family here as well to support. And I can tell you, because I've been to the Philip Simmons area a lot as I go to all of our schools, and you guys work together as well as any feeder pattern does, and I hope that we can all do that in time, but you guys do a great job, and it does help that you're pretty close together, but nevertheless you do a great job, but that's not taking anything away. Mr. Terry, thank you so much for joining our community. We look for great things. It's a great, I'm fairly new, I've been here 2 years, but I can tell it's a great place to live, great place to work, great people. We look forward to your tenure as our new transportation director, and we pledge to both of these administrators our full support. Again, just to echo what Ms. Wofford said, I would like to commend the Board of Education for investing in our teachers and our students with the pay raise and class size reduction. It's not easy to cull that out and roll back millage, but you managed to do that, and I certainly appreciate that collaboration. I don't think in 38 years I've seen a 6% raise. I don't think. There have been a couple of 4%, maybe a 5%, but I don't think in my 38 years I've seen a 6% raise for teachers, and that's certainly welcome. And while Kelly's not here, she and Katie Orvin are working to establish our Teacher Advisory Council that will be made up of representatives from our Teacher Forum. We'll be meeting monthly on Tuesdays, opposite of the Board of Education meeting, and we are also looking forward to scheduling the newly formed Business Advisory Council, so I'm looking forward to those 2 organizations coming up. And last but certainly not least, Amanda, thanks for being here for Teacher Forum. We look forward to your participation and collaboration so that we can keep our lines of communication open. And Madam Chair, board members, and audience, that concludes my report for the evening.
Thank you, Dr. Ingram. Item 11A, Board Chair, upcoming dates and events. July 9th will be our board workshop. We'll be working on the superintendent's evaluation. We will also have some other items of interest to go through the workshop, but if you have something that you would like for us to delve a little bit of time into, please let me know. I'll see what I can schedule. Also, please schedule to be here earlier that day. I would say we'll probably shoot for around 4 o'clock on that day so that we can have about 5 hours to work. We'll work and take a break and work some more, but that's our plan, is to start early on July the 9th to do our board workshop. That is the only meeting in July, so we'll be putting some work in on that workshop.
It's 4 p.m., Madam Chair.
Yes, sir. We will start early that day. Mostly because I love y'all, but I don't want to spend the night. So I'd like to try to get out of here by 9. I hate to keep staff late at night. So that concludes the upcoming dates. We are working towards an opening for the new building, and that date will be forthcoming. That will be probably some of our work during the workshop, is planning that reception and the excitement of the community to see that building. So hearing nothing else, we'll move on to agenda item 12A, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
There's a motion by Mr. McQuillan, a second by Mr. Wright. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. We're adjourned. Good work.